With Abdel Fattah Adeyemi, you unlock a world of wisdom, growth, and connection. It's time to live, love, learn, and build a better world together. Be inspired. Be motivated. Edit your universe.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. My name is Abdul Fattah Adeyemi, and I welcome you to another session powered by Binakum Family Counseling Center. The topic of today is love spell or a toxic trap. That is the title. I want to tell you a story. There's the story of a guy who was to marry his late elder brother's wife, the widow of his elder brother. And in that culture, they do that a lot. That is when the younger brother is made to marry the widow of the late elder brother. Sometimes it's the other way around. If it's the younger brother that dies, the elder brother will be advised to marry the lady, the widow of the younger brother. They do that in some families. In Islam also, we have something similar to that. That is where a man can marry two sisters, but if one of them dies, he can marry the younger or elder sister of that one. The only thing that's forbidden in Sharia is وَأَن تَجْمَعُوا بَيْنَ الْأُخْتَيْنِ إِلَّا مَا قَدْ سَلَفَ. You cannot join two sisters together. You can't marry two sisters at the same time, except if one of them dies, and then you marry another one from that same family, being sisters. You see that in the example of Uthman ibn Affan. That's why we used to call him Dhu Nurayn, who married one of the daughters of the Prophet. When that one died, he married another sister, another daughter of the Prophet. So this coming to this guy now. So his elder brother died, leaving behind little children and a wife. So he was invited by the elders in the village to come and marry the lady. So he refused. He said, no, I can't marry her now. That was my late brother's wife. Besides, I'm a young man. I have the right to marry whoever I want to marry. I don't want her. I don't love her. I never loved her. It's my brother that loved her. How can you force me to marry somebody I don't love? So they were appealing to him that it's a normal thing. If you do that, you look after the children. The lady will not be stranded. She will not have to start all over again. Besides, she's a young lady, and it's not nice to just turn her out like that. She loves this family. We love her in this family. Please marry her. He refused. Says he was not going to do it. So they invited him to the village. The elderly people gathered around and they advised him. He still refused vehemently. So one of the elders there said, okay, please leave him alone. Don't bother him and don't pressure him into this. Young people of nowadays, they don't like somebody to dictate or choose who they should marry for them. So he asked them to leave him alone. The young man was very happy. Thank you, Baba. You are the only one that's understanding here. So they left him alone, truly. 3 months after, he came back to beg that they should allow him to marry that woman, to marry that widow. The question is, what happened along the line? The elderly people, they knew what they did, and they did what they did, and something happened, and this guy could not sleep without thinking about this widow that they asked him to marry in the first place. So he came back begging that he wanted to do that marriage right now, today, before I go back to the city. So now I'm asking you now, what did they do? One of the elderly men said, hey, I told you guys that he will come back. We know how we handle such situation. Now, what they did actually was that they did love spell against him. Is it to him or against him? The question is, what they did, was it good? Is it in order? Is it acceptable? Is it something that they did in line of because they want something good to happen? Why and what is happening? These are part of the things we want to look at today. And I want us to follow it through. Which of them is halal? Is there any circumstance that can make people to do this? And do they have to? That's the question. Do they have to do this? Is it not like forcing him into this? Or is it not like solving a problem in a wrong way. Incidentally, this has been very fascinating. In fact, love and love potion, love spells have remained one of the most enticing reasons why people turn to either witchcraft or sorcery, sometimes in order to find love, or sometimes to enhance love, or sometimes to repair love, or sometimes even to end love itself. Everybody has the power within themselves to maximize their magical potential and to become love spellcaster in one way or the other. But how do you do it? Where do you begin? And how does it really work? Is this something that the person can do even if you know how it is done? Is it allowed for you under the Sharia to do this under any circumstance, under whatever circumstance? Let's begin by looking at it one after the other. Number one we want to look at is understanding love itself. Love is not something that the human being manufactures. It is something that's bestowed by Almighty Allah. It arrives quietly, gently, and it settles naturally. And it grows with time, it grows with sincerity, and it grows with some meaning. It is purposeful. And let me tell you the Quranic verse that says this. We always quote this one most of the time. I mean, we quote this a lot of the time. Quran chapter 30 verse 21. Allah says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِ يَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. And amongst his signs is that he has created for you from amongst yourselves spouses, so that you may find tranquility in them. Waja'ala, this is the word I'm looking for. And Allah placed between you love and mercy. This ayah does not describe love as conquest. It does not speak of rituals. It's not talking about strategies. It's not talking about control. It introduces love as an ayah, a sign from Almighty Allah. In other words, it's a gift from Allah that is placed in the heart without compulsion, without coercion, without fear. So love is not something you seize. It is something you recognize. True love, as far as we are concerned in Islam, begins as inclination, not invasion. Mark the words very well. It begins as inclination, not invasion. You are drawn, you are not dragged. You choose, you are not trapped. Allahu Akbar. You select, you don't pick. And this is why love, when it is real, it carries sakīnah along with it. You know what sakīnah is? Sakīnah means peace and tranquility. Even in disagreement, there's emotional safety alongside with the love. Even in longing, there's dignity. When you miss somebody, there's honor. Even in distance, there's trust. Love does not tighten the chest, it expands it. So there's the natural attraction, and there's mercy, and there's choice, together with the love that the Quran is talking about. Natural attraction is not blind obsession, it is awareness. You see the other person clearly. You see their strength, you see their flaws, you see their humanity, and despite all of that, you still incline towards them. That is the natural thing. You can see everything, yet you chose to stay. Mercy enters because you did this by choice. And when mercy comes in, it softens the edges of desire. It teaches patience, it teaches forgiveness and gentleness. And choice crowns it all. I choose you freely again and again, despite your faults and despite your strength, despite your flaws, and despite your humanity, that you are not perfect. I choose you freely, willingly, voluntarily, again and again. And so this freedom is essential. Love that removes choice removes honor. When choice disappears, love collapses into control. And then look at the tranquility that Allah mentioned. Tranquility usually comes before passion. Notice what Allah mentions first. Allah said sakīnah, not excitement, not obsession, not fear of loss. Sakīnah is the nervous system at rest. It's the heart of exhaling. It is the absence of threat. You know, let me ask, does what you call love bring you peace or panic? If it is peace, then it is the sakīnah. If it is panic, then it is not the one Allah is describing. Because love that comes from Allah settles the heart before it stirs it. And notice also that verse. Love is placed, not engineered, not commandeered. Allah says, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. Allah placed love and mercy between your heart. Love is placed, mercy is placed. They are not forced into existence. They are not summoned by technique or by some talisman or by some algorithm or by some incantations. When human beings try to engineer love through manipulation or through pressure or some spiritual interference, they are attempting to replace divine placement with human control. What Allah places flows naturally, whereas what humans force fractures internally. Choice is built into divine love. And this is why Allah says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُمْ مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ. Allah created for you from amongst yourselves, meaning that there's familiarity. You understand? There's familiarity, there's recognition, there's also consent from amongst yourselves. I know you and you know me. I understand you, you understand me. I recognize you and you recognize me. I have consent to the fact that you want to love me and I also want to love you. I consent to it. True love includes choice. Choice is not a threat to love. It is the proof of love. Love that survives only without choice was never love. You know, it was captivity. Look at the difference between that. If it doesn't have love in it, then it is captivity. Sincere love versus enforced attachment is what comes to play here. There's a critical difference between love that grows and attachment that grips. You know, the difference between them is that Allah does not describe love as dependency. To say, okay, my life depends on this love, or if I don't love you, then I will die. Allah does not describe love as obsession, that I'm madly in love with you, or I'm crazy about you. You know, that kind of thing. I'm crazy about you. It's not obsession. It's not, I would rather die with you than live without you. Allah does not describe love as losing yourself. To say, since when you are no longer in my life, I've already lost myself. I cannot find myself. I do not know myself. Instead, Allah pairs love with mercy. And you see, mercy requires clarity, not compulsion. So, as for enforced attachment, it creates anxiety instead of assurance. It creates surveillance instead of trust. It creates fear instead of freedom. In other words, sincere love allows the other person to breathe. If you see that you are in love and you cannot breathe, you cannot drink water and drop the cup, that is not love, that is captivity. Enforced attachment suffocates. You can't even breathe, you can't think. Whereas sincere love says, I want you, but I do not own you. Enforced attachment says, I need you or else I am nothing. It's either you or the highway, or it's either you or I kill myself. That's enforced attachment. One is rooted in wholeness, that is sincere love, and the other one is rooted in fear. Fear of losing the other person. When love is enforced through manipulation, or through emotional pressure, or through some spiritual interference, or through certain obsession, it loses its purity. What remains may feel intense, even overwhelming sometimes, but intensity is not intimacy. Did you get that now? Intensity is not intimacy. Obsession is not connection. Possession is not protection. Love that must be forced was never love in the first place. It was anxiety dressed like love. It was anxiety wearing perfume. It is not love if it is forced. And let us understand the anchor of the Quran very well. Love is a test, not a possession, as far as the Quran is concerned. Allah never gives love as property. Allah gives it as an amana, as a trust. You are giving this love to care for, to look after. And Allah is going to ask you about it. But it's not your own. It's not your property. It's not your personal thing. Love is a test of trust in Allah. Love is one of the greatest tests of tawakkul. Will you trust Allah with the heart you desire? Or will you try to control destiny with forbidden means? So the Quran reminds us so that we be careful. The Quran says, فَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّوا شَيْئًا فَهُوَ شَرٌّ لَكُمْ وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. You see that in Quran chapter 2 verse 216. This ayah humbles the heart. It breaks the illusion that desire equals destiny. Love then is not proof of entitlement. That is what we are saying. It's not that, okay, I'm entitled to the person and to the life of that person. You may feel love for somebody, but that doesn't mean that that person becomes your property, because you may feel it in your heart and the other person may not feel it in his heart or in her heart for you. It is your own emotion, your own personal emotion. To say that you feel love for somebody doesn't qualify you to be entitled to that person. It's a space where trust is refined and it is always based on trust. Love tests the heart. It is like, will you be grateful without becoming entitled if I love you? Will you care without controlling if I agree to love you? Will you let go when holding on can cause harm? These are the questions that the love will ask the heart. And this is why love exposes our inner state, our inner condition. It reveals whether we trust Allah or we try to replace Allah, whether we surrender outcomes or we attempt to command the heart of the person we want to love. To treat love as a possession is to misunderstand its purpose. Hearts are not objects to be seized. They are signs to be honored. That's why Allah says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ, amongst his signs. And what is honored remains. But what is seized eventually escapes or it breaks. No wonder why they say when you love a bird, you set it free. If you love a bird, you don't keep it in a cage. If you truly love a bird, you don't keep it in captivity. You allow the bird to fly around. If the tree is good enough, the bird will sit in it. If the tree is not good enough, the bird should be free to fly away at will whenever it wants. So if you truly love somebody, you don't cage them, you don't put them in captivity. You give them freedom to choose to stay or to choose to leave. In a nutshell, love that comes from Allah flows with peace. Love that is manufactured flows with fear. And any path to love that requires violating the soul, violating the will, or bending the will and the womb of somebody, or the divine order, any love that requires violating the divine order of Almighty Allah is not a path to union, it's a path to loss. People normally lose at the end. So get this point straight. Love that is from Allah arrives without violating the soul. Love that requires control is already a warning, it's a red flag. And anything that pulls you away from trust in Allah, no matter how sweet it feels, it will never lead you to peace. You will always have to be on your edges, on your toes, wanting to secure what you don't want to set free. Get it? That is one understanding about love as far as the Quran is concerned. Love is free and love comes with free will. It is not enforced. It is not caged. It is not in captivity. Because anything you keep in captivity, the next thing is that it will be looking for ways to escape. Number 2 point I want us to understand is the love spells itself. Aha. What are love spells or incantations or potions? A love spell is any deliberate attempt to influence another person's emotions or to influence their attachment or to influence their choices and sometimes to also influence divine guidance. It is not defined only by dramatic rituals or dark symbols. It is defined by intention. And what is that intention? To bend a heart instead of inviting it. To subvert somebody else's decision instead of winning the person's heart. That is the intention. You know, anything we do in Islam, there is the BIA part of it. BIA. B stands for believe. I stands for intention. And A stands for action. If this BIA is not in consonance with Allah's injunction, then there is problem. If you believe that love is something you have to force somebody to give to you, then your belief system is wrong. If your intention for wooing somebody is that you want to force them through these rituals and through these love spells and whatever thing, if that is your intention, you are still wrong. And especially if you now take the action of actually concocting things together in order to force love out of somebody, then there is problem. So take note of that. BIA. And this is the password. It is also the formula for you to assess anything that comes in line of this and any other thing for that matter, for you to know whether it is in line with the Sharia or not. BIA. Like the example of the elderly man I gave you earlier on, with the young man who said he was not going to marry. What is their belief? What is their intention? And what is the action they have taken? You get to see that they are still wrong. No matter their intention, they are still wrong in the way they went about it. So whenever love is pursued by bypassing consent or by bypassing clarity and trust in Allah, it has already stepped outside the space of true love. It is something else. It is now fake love. In fact, let me call it deep fake. Yes, deep fake. The way you have deep fake in AI. There are common forms of love spells that people use. Traditionally, love spells appear in recognizable forms, charms that are tied or buried. Yes, they will say, get the hair of that person, or they will say, get something from the body of that person, like the waist of the person, the nails, sweat, some other thing like that. In fact, sometimes they will say the feces from that person, or even the urine from that person, or the spittle from that person. Then they will tie it to some charms, and then they bury these things. They do this in some ways, in some cultures. Then there's incantations that are whispered over objects. Sometimes they use some form of effigies. They tie a doll that is meant to represent that person. They tie two dolls together and they blow some incantations on them. Like the Quran says, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ مِنْ شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ وَمِنْ شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ وَمِنْ شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. That's the one I want to use. The evil of those who blow into knots. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. So they do that incantation, they whisper something, they call the names of this person and that person, and they say, from now on, you must begin to love this person. This person, you cannot sleep without loving this person. You must. There's so many of those things they say to compel the will of that person spiritually. Then there are the written symbols or the names folded and hidden. They also use that one to make the love spells. They can write one person's name on a piece of paper, write the other person's name facing each other. They fold it, and then they make some incision into a bulb of onion, and they squeeze this name inside this. They tie it up, and then they do something. Some people are trying to listen to know how they do it. I'm not somebody who wants to teach you how to do that. I'm just explaining what some people do. Yes, they use onion. Sometimes they use tomato. This same tomato that you know. They will slash the tomato in between, write the names of the two people they want them to love or hate each other. That's where the intention comes, an incantation. They put their names, either they make them to face each other if they're to love each other, or they turn their backs against each other if they're to hate each other. They will tie this thing, put it somewhere, and it will rot naturally. And as it keeps rotting in, these people will keep hating each other. If it is for the other thing, as it keeps rotting in, these people will start loving each other, and they will not know why they were loving each other. They will not be able to sleep without seeing each other. They whisper some of these incantations, and then these written symbols. They come in form of talismans or khatim. They call it khatim, some kind of write-up like that. Or sometimes they write it in a cursive way. That's why they say cursive handwriting. This one that is slanted forward or slanted backwards, depending on what they want to use it for. That's where the word cursive comes from. Curse, as in to curse somebody. Then cursive, that is to make it to be slanted. It is slanted forward or backward, depending on what they intend to use it for. And then they fold the names and then they hide it somewhere. For some, they hide them in the thick forest somewhere. Some, they hang them, they tie them in form of a knot or in form of a padlock, and they hang them in trees far away in the forest somewhere where nobody can reach. Sometimes they bury them near a soakaway septic tank, and sometimes they bury them near a well or a flowing river. So many things people have done to another people, either to force them to be together or to compel them to separate from each other. I have seen quite a number of this in the line of my counseling years and offering therapy for people. I've seen situations where you settle a quarrel and it refuses to settle until you later realize or discover that these people are under some spell that they should hate one another. It's a long story. Maybe another time we look into details of some of these things. I just want to give you examples. Then we have the talismans that people wear on their body. They'll say, so long as you wear these beads, or you wear this chain, or you wear this necklace, or you tie this around your neck, this person will always love you. Or so long as you wear this ring, don't remove this ring from your hand. So long as you wear this ring, this person must always love you, and this person will not be able to sleep without you. This is talisman that they wear on the body. Some ladies nowadays, they use it in form of bead that they wear around their waist, and the name of the man or the men that they want to attract to themselves, they have them written there. Sometimes it's not just for love, it's for sex. So long as she's wearing that bead, the man will always sleep with her. He will always enjoy sleeping with her. He cannot focus on any other thing apart from sleeping with her, if especially she's benefiting from such immoral activity. Sometimes there are substances mixed and secretly administered. They mix them with food, they mix them with drinks, and you start going crazy about this person. Sometimes, look, let me ask you, can a wife do this for the husband so that the husband can love her some more? Oh yeah? Then what kind of love is that? If you say yes, because some people say yes in their mind. I can't say your mind, but I can imagine some people can say yes. I know some people out there, you can say yes. If you say yes, your husband is in trouble, especially men who have more than one wife. Let's even assume each of the wives should do this thing against the man. What's going to happen? His brain is going to divide into four, subhanallah. That's why he becomes crazy and mad. So many men now, they are not themselves anymore. They are zombies because some substances have been fed to them. Wife A gave it to him in the drink. Wife B made it together, cooked it with rice. Wife C found a way of mixing to the soup. And then another wife found a way of kissing him with it. She put in her mouth and kissing with him. This man is in trouble. Anyway, that's just a joke anyway. But somehow, this is another way people do love spells. They mix substances and then they secretly administer them. In fact, nowadays, some people even do this love spell. They read some verses inside Zamzam water and find ways of making their husband to drink it. I don't know what we are going to say about that, whether it's halal or haram to do that. We are going to see as we go ahead. Anyway, some people go to the Kaaba. I'm telling you, they go on Umrah, go to the Kaaba. They'll be doing tawaf. They'll be calling their husband's name, and it is love spell they're actually doing. They'll be like, oh Lord of this Kaaba, I'm mentioning my husband's name to you, that anywhere he is now, as I'm going around this Kaaba, let his thought, let his feeling, let his emotion be going around the love of me. He should love no other person but me. The way everybody loves this Kaaba, he should love me. The way people are kissing Hajara's word, he should always kiss me. The way. Don't start taking note of these things so that you don't think you want to do it. But you hear some ladies go on Umrah because of love spell, to complete the dosage of the love spell against their husband. Some people, it's in form of incense. Yes, they'll be burning some incense in the house. You think they are refreshing the house, whereas this incense have some love potions that are inside. Anytime the husband comes home and he smells this thing, he will start getting crazy about the woman. Ya salam. Is it by accident you see some very big men, very, very big men, they fall in love with some ladies that are of questionable characters, and they'll be so crazy about it. Ya salam. There's a lot about this, but let me not bore you down with too much details. You also know all of these things in your cultures, in your different cultures. And that's why you see that there are cultural and modern disguises to all of these things. In our time, nowadays, love spells rarely announce themselves the way we have explained them. They have changed their clothes. Today, they appear as spiritual baths, to attract a specific person. Some people go to the where ladies do sauna, where they do all of this body massage, and they say they do bath and stuff like that. There are some of these spiritual baths that they actually use as love spell against somebody. She'll be bathing it, mix some things with it, and they'll say the moment she baths with this soap, or you bath with these things that has been mixed up with some other thing you mix with your water for bathing. I've heard of somebody who said you can even use Fanta, this same mineral soft drink that people have. You can use Fanta, you can use any of this one that is orange in color. They say you can mix some things with it, call the person's name, and the moment you bath with it, the person will be crazy about you, crazy in love. Then they also have powders now. They have special oils. They have special perfumes that are meant to draw somebody's heart. Then there's also the energy walk. There are manifestation rituals or vibration alignment. I align my soul with the soul of so and so person, that the person's thought and imagination should surround me, should hover around me, should pivot around me. He will not sleep, he will not rest without thinking about me. He will not be able to get himself until he gets to me. He will not be able to be himself until he sees me. I am a source of energy. I'm the manifestation of goodness for this person. Oh, this person and this person, I call you the energy of the universe to bring so person to me. You should call me within this minute. You should call me within this hour. It should not. Subhanallah. I hope some people are not taking note of this so that they use it against somebody. I'm just giving you an example of what people do. It is a new thing now. It's not the way it used to be. People have really modernized it now. And then we also have these ancestral practices that is framed as harmless tradition. Whenever it is time for you to marry, or somebody has toasted you as a woman, they will say, bring his name. Send his name to the village. Get the name of his mother. Who knows? Maybe once a woman start asking you, what's the name of your mother? You should start wondering, the name of my mother, what for? Subhanallah. Or maybe let's say, yes, a guy just approaches you, he asks for your name, you give him your name and your surname, and is asking what's the name of your mother. Then you be like, why? What do you need the name of my mother for? In some ancestral practices, in some families, once they get the name of the parents, especially the name of the mother, they have some traditions they do, and that man is going to be fixated to that family for the rest of his life. They will control him, they will dictate to him, they will tell him what to do. Haven't you seen some men like this? They will spend the whole of their life, quote and unquote, worshipping that family. He will never be able to divorce their daughter no matter what. And that is why you see some men, oh, Allahu Akbar. It just occurred to me now. That's why you see some men, their parents will be living in the village. Their parents will be living in dilapidated buildings. They will be suffering and hungry. And he'll be building mansions for his in-laws. Aha! He will be building mansions for his in-laws. His mother has never gone to Hajj before. His own mother-in-law will be going on Hajj, like, let me exaggerate, 3 times every year. Subhanallah, I'm just exaggerating. His mother will not have mattress to sleep, but he'll be buying gold for the families of his in-laws. There must, or there could be, I'm not sure, sorry for this, I'm just giving an example as an extreme case. There could be some ancestral practices that the man has been, quote and unquote, tied down to that family. The same thing they do that to some ladies. They will just roast till they die in that family. They will not leave. Even if they chase them away, they will still come back. Some ancestral things in form of love spells have already tied them down. Then they also have relationship cleansing, or the one they call love activation sessions. They do all of those things in a new way now. The language is softer. The packaging is now cleaner. But the objective remains unchanged. And that is control over outcome and control over people. Not everything spiritual is godly. Not everything ancient is safe. Not everything traditional is harmless. And not everything that is labeled energy is neutral. Take note of this. Look at how love spells are marketed now. Love spells are rarely sold to the confident people. They are sold to the wounded. People who need it. They are the ones who buy into this. People who are confident of themselves, they don't have to tie somebody down. But for people who are wounded, they have some problems, which we shall look into as we move ahead. They promise them 4 things. And that's why you know the difference between somebody who is confident in themselves and somebody that is wounded, that has low self-esteem. They promise them 4 things. Number 1, quick results. They will tell them you will see changes in 3 days. Just use this thing over the night, 12 midnight, strip yourself naked, remove all your clothes, stand facing one corner of your room, use this thing, use these herbs, or make this incense, chant this incantation, and in 3 days you see result. That is quick results. That's one of the things they promise them. Number 2, they promise them certainty. They will tell you that, look, they will call you and they will return to you. In fact, they will come begging you to love them back into their life. They give them that kind of certainty that no matter what, this one is sure. Number 3, there's obsession involved. They will tell them that, look, they won't stop thinking about you until they come back to you. And number 4, there's control. They'll say you will dominate their emotions. Everything you want, just ask him or just ask her. He will do it for you. Some guys do it too. They go marry daughters of rich men. And when they go do these things that they do, they take control of the life of that lady, and then they take control of the life of her family. They will practically be putting all of their monies in his account. I've seen this before. I'm not making it up. I've seen this before. A man that did that to a lady in form of control. The lady works in the bank. She wrote letter to the bank, what do they call it? A kind of mandate to the bank that the bank should be paying her salary to the account number of the man himself. The man kept collecting all this money. The woman will collect loans and put in his account. This guy built some houses for himself through this, and he took off one day. It is one day like that the lady, when she was giving quick notice where she was living, and she was packing her things, that was when she discovered the padlock far somewhere under the bed, somewhere like within the mattress, like somebody makes some incineration, they cut through incision into the mattress and stuff this padlock inside it. Allahu Akbar. So it is controlled, that whatever thing you tell her to do, that's what she must do. Whatever you tell him to do, that's what he must do. I have seen this severally in this line of counseling. So those are the 4 things. Number 1, quick results. Number 2, certainty. Number 3, obsession. And number 4, control. Now, you should notice the language. The language is not peace. It is possession. The language is not mercy. It is urgency. And the language is not mutual growth. It is fear of loss. The psychological hook there is that love spells succeed in marketing because they speak to panic. When the heart is hurting, patience feels unbearable. When rejection wounds the ego, surrender feels humiliating. And when uncertainty frightens the soul, control feels comforting. And here's a firm distinction. Dua and trust in Allah says, "Oh Allah, if this is good for me, bring it closer to me. In kana khairan li, if this is good for me, give it to me." But love spells say, "Make it happen no matter the cost." One places the heart in Allah's hand, the other removes Allah from the equation. Love spells are not about love. I want us to understand. They are about fear of loss, refusal of divine decree, and the illusion of control. And anything that begins with violating another soul will end by violating your own soul too. So why is it that people turn to love spells? I was trying to explain that earlier on. Number one, fear of abandonment. At the root of many love spells lies a terror. If they leave, I will be alone. You know, as in for some people, abandonment is not a possibility. It's a memory. It's a childhood wound. It's something they are used to. Hey, if I don't do this now, many men have spoken to me in the past and they left me. Some men, they will toast me. Once I agree, they will run away. Some ladies, I'll be running after them. The day they say they agree to marry me, then they will stop picking my calls again. There's that fear that, I don't want to lose this one again. Like a lady once said, anytime a man proposes to her, if she should say yes now, in the next few hours, the man will stop responding to her again. Like one lady said, I'm telling you this from experience. The lady said any man that should talk to her, that there was even an example of a man that toasted her, and this man said, look, if it's because I already have a wife that you want to marry me, that you don't want to marry me, I will divorce my wife so that you can marry me. The man was so desperate wanting to marry this lady because, truly, Omo, if you see this lady, it is not blood that is flowing in her veins, so it is honey that is flowing. So pretty, so beautiful that even a butterfly will perch on her head thinking she's a flower. Anyway, I'm just exaggerating. The thing is, that same lady, anytime a man speaks to her, after a while, this man will run away. And it's a very long story. She later told me that one of the men said anytime he came close to her, she normally smells like feces, like shit. Subhanallah. So for this kind of lady, her fear is that fear of abandonment. So any man that comes to her, because of that fear of repeated loss, she'll quickly do this love spell to them so that they don't go away again. Are you following me now? This is the reason why some people do it. I'm not saying whether it is good or bad, or whether it is allowed or not, but I'm just telling that this is one of the reasons. Repeated loss, a pattern that never healed. All of these are some of the things. So love becomes a lifeline instead of a gift. And anything that feels like security, even control, will feel justified. She felt as if she was justified by doing this thing because of the experiences that she had had. Another reason why people do this is desperation after rejection or breakup. Rejection shakes identity. It's not easy to be rejected. It's easier to say you have Iman when people are not rejecting you. But when you feel, when you suffer rejection over and over and over again, some people will start considering this love spell. Breakups that fracture your self-perception. Breakups that makes you to doubt your authenticity as a human being. Either serial or often repeated divorce. Some ladies have married and divorced up to 4 times now. And at the 5th one, when they see that divorce is imminent again, for no reason, for absolutely no reason, then they may start thinking of, okay, let us look for a spell that will make this man to stay. They will not call it spell. They call it some other names. You know what I mean? You know, when the mind begins to say, I was almost chosen, or if only something small could change, or I can't accept that it's over so soon, or I don't want to lose this one again. When desperation comes, desperation thrives in unfinished stories. Allahu Akbar. Desperation comes to play when these stories are not understood. When you look at your life and you don't even understand, you'll be like, what exactly is even going on? What is wrong with me? Then you become desperate. Or you found a love of your life. You found a man that, where will I ever find this kind of man again? Or you find a woman, you'll be like, this is the woman that I want to enter Al-Jannah together with. And something is happening along the line and the woman is threatening to leave. Then this man becomes desperate or this woman becomes desperate. Love spells promise to rewrite endings, but Allah sometimes closes doors to protect your heart from what it cannot see. So don't be too overzealous with your desperation. Allah knows, but you don't know. In other words, I'm just trying to say that no matter how desperate you are, don't go into something that is going to be a sort of captivity for another person. Another thing, number 3, is low self-worth and insecurity. That's what makes people to do this. When someone does not believe they are enough, or love feels like proof of value. You know, if they choose me, that means I'm important. If they stay, that means I'm worthy. But if they reject me, then I am not good enough. You understand what I mean now? Love is not meant to repair self-worth. It is meant to meet it. So let it register that many people who do love spell is because they have low self-worth of themselves. They feel they're not good enough for the other person to truly love them or to desire them back. Another one is desire to control outcomes instead of trusting Allah. Love spell says, I cannot wait. But tawakkul says, I trust even when I don't understand. Another thing is social pressure, marriage age, comparison. Other people are marrying, only me, I'm not married. Everyone else is married. Time is running out. I'm not getting younger anymore. People are talking behind my back that I cannot maintain a relationship. People are saying that I cannot hold on to a man. People are saying that women are running away from me, or I don't want to be the one left behind. All of my friends in our circle, they have all married and they are living a happy married life now. Why me? Why me? All of those pressures can make people to go into this kind of things we are talking about. And sometimes you compare your life with other people. Comparison turns patience into panic. But no soul is late. I want you to understand. No decree is delayed. And no heart is forgotten by Allah. People turn to love spells when they believe that love is scarce, or when they think time is against them, or when they think Allah is silent, or Allah is absent, or Allah has exited from their lives. But Allah is never absent. Allah is shaping, Allah is protecting, and Allah is teaching you something, even though it is through the delay. If love must be forced, it is not yours yet. That's what it means. And if it is yours, it will arrive without costing you your iman, your faith. So take note of this. It is very important that no matter how desperate you are, please don't go into something that will cost you your iman eventually. Let me move along now. Then the illusion of power. You want to control. Control instead of connection. Control feels powerful because it gives the impression of certainty that surely by the time I do this thing, this person is under my control. Connection feels vulnerable because it requires trust. So when love is uncertain, control looks like strength. But in reality, control is what we reach for when we feel powerless. The human soul was never designed to command hearts. It was designed to relate to hearts. And the reason why control masquerades as love is that control often dresses itself in romantic language. I just want them to be mine. That's what they will say. I want them to be mine. I can't live without them. You see, I'm already in love. What am I going to do? I'm doing this because I love them. That kind of thing. But love does not erase the other person's will. Love honors them. And connection, on the other hand, requires risk, whereas control avoids it. Connection will say, I show up as I am. This is me. Love me as I am, or leave me as I am. Connection says, I allow myself to be known. Whatever you know about me, deal with it. And connection says, I accept the possibility of rejection. You either accept me or you leave me. Control says, I cannot risk losing you. Control says I must secure the outcome. Control says I will bypass uncertainty. But without risk, there's no intimacy. And without vulnerability, there's no love, only management. So take note of this. It is not control, it is connection. And there's a way your ego, your mind will start telling you, if you are somebody who wants to take control of somebody else's life, your ego will say, look, you deserve this person. This is the person you have been looking for all your life. It's not fair if they choose somebody else apart from you. What is wrong? Why not you? Why somebody else? Why that other guy and why not me? Why that other lady and not me? And your heart will be telling you, you know what is best for you. It's like, I know what is good for me. And that's why I'm trying to get what is good for me. But let me tell you, hearts are not prizes to be won. Hearts are trusts placed by Allah. Hearts are not trophies that you win by manipulation. They are trusts that are placed by Almighty Allah. So the control will always collapse at the end of it all. If you choose to control, control can create attachment but not affection. It can produce proximity but not peace. Over time, control relationships show the same symptoms. Anxiety will replace joy, suspicion replaces trust, exhaustion replaces excitement. Because love grows through freedom, but control suffocates what it tries to preserve. And that is why what you thought you loved will end up destroying you. Connection is built on alignment, not on force. True connection unfolds naturally. It unfolds through shared values, through mercy during conflict, through mutual choice. It does not need urgency. It does not need secrecy. It does not need manipulation. You understand what I mean now? If you are controlling somebody, you can't show them the padlock and say, look, here's the padlock that I use in locking you. You know, that kind of thing. You can't say, this is the secret of the love I have for you. Then you now show them all the incantation you have made to love them. If you are showing them that, it will break, it will spoil. So you keep secrets. You don't want them to know. And if love involves secrecy, it's not love anymore. It's not connection anymore. It is control. If it needs manipulation, if it needs renewal, then it is not love anymore. It is not connection anymore. It is control. It is captivity. If love must be hidden, if it must be forced, or if it must be feared, then it is already broken, dead on arrival. That is not love. Control feels like power in the moment, but it always extracts a price from the soul. You don't get it free of charge. You give something else in return. You know, connection feels fragile, but it is the only soil where real love can grow and survive. And anything that cannot survive freedom was never love. It was fear trying to feel safe. How are you even going to feel that the person you thought you love is because you actually locked them? You know, it's actually because you have done sorcery against them. How do you feel like that? Just think about it. How do you feel that whatever thing you are doing with this person is not real? Is because of what you did? All right, let's quickly go into spiritual reality now. Love spells in the light of Iman. There's the true path between Tawḥīd and the temptation to control the unseen. And if we look at it critically, the issue of love spells is not romantic at all. You understand it now? Love spell is not romance. It is a theological issue. It's a matter of spirituality. It asks a question every heart must answer. Who do I trust with my outcomes? Is it Allah or myself? Because love spells are not merely emotional shortcuts. They are spiritual interventions. Intervention into a space that Allah reserved for His decree. You understand it now? So take note of this. Firstly, love spells interfere with the divine decree. They are attempting to override the divine wisdom of Almighty Allah. The spiritual dangers of seeking forbidden means is such that two people may desire the same thing. One seeks it through dua, patience, and lawful means, but the other one, seeks it through forbidden doors. Outcomes may look similar for a moment, but the spiritual imprint is not the same. Tawḥīd versus manipulation of unseen forces. You understand what I mean now? Reliance moves from Allah to methods hope moves from dua to techniques, and trust moves from decree to control. So keep away. This kind of thing can ruin your Tawḥīd. The unseen is not a neutral territory. Not every door that opens there is safe to walk through. The moment you begin to erode your attachment to Almighty Allah, it's a very big shift from belief to disbelief. And there's the trusting in Allah versus forcing destiny. You want destiny to be forced to your advantage without trusting Allah. There's also the hidden consequence on the soul. It is not just ordinary. That's what I'm trying to say. And let me tell you this other spiritual thing that will interest all of you. There's the natal astrology and love compatibility. Do you want me to explain that? It comes in the way of love and cosmic compatibility. Love and cosmic compatibility. I know you are going to find this interesting. You see, not everyone who avoids love spells actually avoids the desire for certainty. Some simply trade rituals for readings. They don't do rituals of, say, let me do love spells, but they go into certain readings. Charms, they replace charms for charts, and they replace incantations for interpretations. The question remains the same. Who guides my heart? Is it Allah or the signs that I construct or the signs that I consult? Because when love becomes uncertain, the human heart looks for maps. And the modern world offers many maps that feel spiritual without requiring surrender. Let me give you an example. The desire to make love to become predictable. Some people seek systems that promise predictability in love by looking at birth charts, by looking at compatibility matrices, by looking at personality elements, or looking at love forecasts. Let me give you an example. This natal astrology and love compatibility, they claim to decode destiny by the positions of celestial bodies at birth. It speaks of synastry or alignment or planetary harmony. And the language is very poetic. The promises are very comforting, But destiny in Islam is not written in stars. It is written by Allah. And that goes on to those who look at dates of birth to see whether they can love somebody or whether somebody can love them or somebody should love them. You understand what I'm saying now? But the other side of it is, if the date of birth is what determines destiny, then there won't be any poor person on earth. Remember that you share the same birthday with a multi-billionaire. So where has that led you now? You share the same birth date with Sudaisi, but has that made you to know how to recite the Quran very well? Now you get what I'm saying now. To say that you have the same date of birth, 24th of April, 15th of June, 1st of January, all of those ones, they don't do anything to you. Because many people are born on the same day as you, but the factors that determine their lives are not the same. There's the place of nurture, there's the place of upbringing, there's a matter of backgrounds, there are issues of opportunities that you have that others don't have, or that others have that you don't have. There's the aspect of knowledge, what you know and other people don't know, or what people know and you don't know. There's the worldview, there's the exposure, there's the aspect of training, there's the aspect of different skills that you have, that you possess. Even though you are born the same day, you don't have the same skills that can make you to navigate your path in life. There's the aspect of environment, opportunities that are bound in the environment where you grow up or where you live. There's the aspect of faith, and so on and so forth. When charts become authorities, hearts begin to differ. Character becomes secondary to constellations. Effort becomes less important than alignment. And slowly, responsibility slips from the human being to the horoscope. If you believe too much in horoscope in matters of love, and they say this person can love this person, that person can love that person, then you start relying on it. You don't even make effort, because after all, you got somebody that is compatible with your natal astrology. But whereas, let me tell you, the reality is that it doesn't always work that way. There are so many other factors that can determine whether two people can love each other or whether they should love each other or not. Another thing similar to that is the elemental compatibility. You know, fire, water, earth, and air. That's Nari, Ma'i, Turabi, and Hawaii. And then there's the 12 signs that are divided into those 4 elements, 4 elemental aspects. And this, some people believe, can actually help in identifying and understanding their nature. The characteristics of the elements help to shed light on the demeanor of the signs. And so, as a general rule, air and fire signs are considered, according to those who believe in this. And we have also explained this before in one of our lectures a long time ago. Air and fire signs are considered to be more compatible, whereas earth and water signs are better suited for each other. You know what I mean? I explained this to you so many years back when we were talking about comfortability or compatibility. I need to search your YouTube channel and look for this topic with my name. Type Abdul Fattah Adeyemi and type compatibility or comfortability. You see that at the end of that lecture, I explained that some people use this as guide, but they are not all in all. There are certain things you may be compatible with one person, but so be it. What if the person is not compatible with you in some other ways too? Earth signs, for example, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, for those who believe in zodiac signs, they say these people are grounded and they are analytical. You see them, they are very analytical. Then air signs like Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, people say these people are creative and they are very social. Then there's the fire signs. We have the Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. They say they're ambitious and full of energy. And then the water signs, the Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. They say they're imaginative, they are creative, they are dreamy. Let me tell you something very interesting about these elemental and zodiac signs. The use of January to December is not universal. That's one point you should understand. There are some cultures that have their own unique calendar system, like the Ethiopians. They don't do January to December. They don't have their own new year in January. The Chinese also, they have their own new year separate, and there are other Asian countries, the Koreans, the Japanese. They have, in fact, some of the Indians. They don't follow January to December. So don't go there fixating on January to December as if that's all in all. We also have Islamic calendar that is based on lunar system from Muharram to the end. That's Dhul Hijjah. So if you were born in January or June of a certain year, it's Jumada al-Ula or Shaban in Islamic calendar. So you only know what is akin to your own culture or your own civilization. You understand what I'm trying to say now? So if you say, okay, you were born in so-so thing of January, and because of that, this is your zodiac sign, or you were born after the 22nd of June, so you are Cancer. If you convert it to Islamic calendar, you are not Cancer anything. So if you thought, Subhanallah. So if you thought your life is governed by being a Cancerian, then how will you interpret it if you use Ethiopian calendar or Chinese calendar or Islamic calendar? So there can be a little bit of confusion along the line. So that's why you should understand these are just guidelines, not destiny. Those who truly know how to make these projections, they use it as guidelines. These things don't define your lives and they don't destine your life. Do you know how many millions of people were born at exactly the same time as you? And you are all different individuals, even in terms of personality, not to talk of destiny. There are rich people among those who were born in the same year, the same time, the same moment. In fact, the same minute, if there's anything like that. Some of them are very rich and some are very poor. Some of them are successful in life and some are not successful. Some of them are very creative, and some are just manipulative. Some of them, because of the education they have, because of the trainings they have, they are different. I'm not saying that this is not true altogether, because there are some people who truly have knowledge about it. So I want you to go discuss more with them. But the little I know about it is that these things, they don't define your destiny. You are not tied down to any of these things. So don't go looking at that and say that is what you must consider in marrying somebody else. Allahu Akbar. Now, let me tell you something. Another reality is, there are many people amongst those who are compatible with your zodiac signs, and they have married and divorced. There are many divorces now by those who believe that they were compatible in their zodiac sign. They have married and divorced severally. And what about genetics? Apart from compatibility of zodiac sign, what about genotype? You are a black person and you are AS, and you marry somebody else who is AS or who is SS in terms of genotype, and you may be compatible with your zodiac sign, but are you compatible genotype wise? That's what I'm trying to say. You may be compatible with a man or a woman, but are you compatible in terms of religiosity or your worldviews? If not, then you are still not compatible. So elemental pairing feels intuitive. It offers simple explanation for complex human behavior. We clash because we are fire and water. You know, some people will say that. Or we connect because our elements match. But what of other things that goes with that? Easy explanations can become easy excuses. Instead of learning patience, we blame the elements. Instead of working on our marriages, we say it's because we are not compatible because of our elements. Instead of growing communication, we blame the chart. What is framed as insight quietly becomes avoidance of accountability. And then we also have those who do fortune telling and love reading. Love readings enter where vulnerability is high, after heartbreaks, during uncertainty, or in moments of loneliness. But fortune telling cannot guarantee anything, because at the end of it all, hope shifts from Allah to interpretations. Prayer is replaced by probability. And these things do not go together with emotional responsibility. What if you truly love somebody because you are compatible with your zodiac sign, or you are going to somebody who did fortune telling and they say, yes, you are okay together, and this person has emotional problems? This person is damaged emotionally, or this person doesn't have a capacity to love somebody. Will you still continue with that person? Sometimes you can't know what is hidden. You may choose somebody because you have done some fortune telling and they tell you that you are compatible with that person, but after 2 years of marriage, the person dies. What are you going to say about that? You can't really know what is hidden to that extent. And that is why some of these things are not reliable. Let us beware and let us be smart. Let us try and be sure that we understand what we are doing. However, there is faith-centered compatibility, the alternative that Allah has designed. Islam offers a different compass, character over constellations. The Prophet ﷺ said, if somebody comes to seek the hand of your daughter in marriage, you should consider the person's character and religiosity. Character is more important than constellation. Some people may be compatible with you in your zodiac sign, but they have bad character. They are woman beaters, or they are womanizers. They are manipulators. Deen over dates. Consider the deen of that person. Consider religiosity over the date the person is taking you to, and because of the money person spend, you think person is compatible with you. You are being played, you don't understand. Then consider tranquility over the thrill. Long-term tranquility is more important than the immediate thrill of the money they throw around you. And consider istikhara over horoscopes. When Allah aligns your hearts, the alignment grows with obedience, not with readings. And I want all of us to understand this very well. These stars are signs of Allah's power, They are not counselors of the heart. Compatibility is not discovered in the sky, it is cultivated on the earth. And any system that slowly replaces the R with decoding has already begun to redirect the heart away from its true guide. So take note of this. There's some emotional impact on the victim of love spell, and that's why we say, please let us avoid it. The person becomes destroyed. There's the emotional dependency. You know, that's one of the earliest signs of somebody that is locked up. There's a sudden heavy dependence. The person feels unable to function without the other. Their mood rises and falls with another person's presence. Distance feels unbearable, not merely painful. Healthy love allows space. Unhealthy attachment fears space. There's also the loss of autonomy and clarity. The victims often describe confusion about their own feelings. Hey, I don't know how I'm feeling. No. I cannot rest. I cannot sleep without this person. There's also difficulty making decisions. They are supposed to progress in life, but they will tie themselves down because of a love to a particular person, and they can't even explain this love. There's also a sense of being pulled rather than choosing. They are being forced, they are being forced to fall in love with that person. Aha, this is where this word fall in love comes from. You don't have autonomy, you don't have clarity, so you fall in love. And when you fall in love, you can break a neck, you can break your leg. And that's why I normally say, don't fall in love, stand in love. Don't fall in love, rise in love. Don't just fall in love. Select the love that you have. And then another problem, psychological impact on the victim of love spell is anxiety, restlessness, and inner turmoil. Restlessness without clear cause, sudden emotional swings, a sense of being unsettled in one's own heart. Peace does not disappear. Its absence leaves noise. It disappears in a way that you become restless for the rest of your life. And then you have a lot of anxiety disorder. Then there's also emotional exhaustion and identity loss. Over time, you feel drained. You feel disconnected from your former interests. Things you were doing that gave you joy no longer give you joy in that marriage. Look, when it is spell or emotional trap, you will feel all of these things. You feel all of these things. You feel less like yourself. You feel as if life has narrowed to one emotional tunnel. Love is meant to widen your life, not shrink it. And I'm telling you guys and ladies out there, whenever you start feeling this emotional exhaustion in a marriage, something else is involved. It may not be charm, it may not be spell the way you are looking at it, but there are so many charms and spells that don't come dressed in the way that you know. They come in so many ways. And then you become so confused. You start blaming yourself. You be like, why can't I move on? Why is it that I want to leave this marriage and I still can't leave? Something is making me not to want to leave, even though I truly want to leave. Why do I feel attached when I don't want to? Why do I seem to be addicted to this marriage? Why does this not feel peaceful? Yet I can't let go. Why is this marriage hurting me? Yet I cannot ask for divorce. When attachment is coerced, the heart experiences conflict, desire without serenity, closeness without safety. Whenever you notice all of these, something is certainly wrong. It may not be spell that you know of, but there's a spell that is involved. You have been cursed into that marriage. You have been tied into that marriage with certain curses and certain spells that I'm going to explain to you as we move along. But if your heart feels trapped rather than chosen, if you feel disturbed rather than settled, if your heart feels pulled rather than guided, you know what I mean? If you are being pulled into that relationship rather than being guided into the relationship, that is not a moral failure. It is a signal of something, that your soul is being controlled. And Allah placed in your heart an instinct for peace that protests when love turns into captivity. And when you see that your soul is beginning to protest, it's beginning to feel uncomfortable. This is the other side of love. It's not love itself. It's a signal that something is fundamentally wrong with the foundation of what we call love. This is not love. This is terror. This is not love. It is captivity. You are under a spell. Then for somebody who is casting spell on somebody else, there's a problem now. You too, you know you have fear of losing the grip. You know that there's deepened obsession and attachment. You know, if the person is trying to break loose, you start feeling unsettled. Then you too, you feel guilty at a point that, oh, you know the background of what you have done. You have this spiritual emptiness because of what you have done. A background guilt that lingers, a suspicion that the bond is fragile, a sense of distance from Allah, a dryness in dua and your worship. When you see that you have tied somebody else down, you don't feel real. You too know it. Like I said earlier on, you know it, that you are going to be addicted to manipulation. Control can become a pattern in your life. It's not only in this matter of marriage, in almost everything. If one outcome is forced, others can also be forced. That's why they say the way you do anything is the way you do everything. These same people, the way they use incantation and spell to force somebody to love them, that same way they will use spell in their places of work to get contracts, to get promoted, to influence the mind of the PR or the HR so that they can consider them for promotion. Don't you see how people do this? If you are in the HR of a particular place of work, don't be so rest assured that people are not casting spell against you right now as we speak. People who do these things, they don't stop only at this. They even use it for their markets. They want people to be buying markets from them, to be patronizing them. So they go do some spells. They cast spells around their marketplace so that more people will be patronizing them. Haven't you seen that before? That's why I say the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And the way you do everything is the way you will do everything. And it is the way you will do anything. So people who do this, this is how self begins. I mean, the self begins to relate to people as projects instead of persons. You now look at the person you are casting spell against, you look at them as projects instead of human beings. There's also the erosion of self-respect. Gradually, something is lost in you if you cast spell on people. The dignity of being chosen freely, the confidence of being loved for who you are, the peace of trusting Allah's decree, all of these things will be eroded from you. Allahu Akbar. Even when the outcome looks like success, the heart knows it was purchased with compromise. It is fake. You cannot build peace by violating the peace of another person. You cannot heal insecurity by commanding affection. And you cannot strengthen faith by bypassing Allah. What is gained through control returns as fear. And what is gained through surrender returns as peace. Allahu Akbar. Let us take note of all of this and see that, look, you cannot really continue this way in your life. You have to stop all of this. Don't cast spell on somebody. Don't cast spell on anyone. And next now, I want to, let's look at the intention, and the hope behind this end result. Let me tell you this thing I mentioned earlier on. Thank God I remember now that some traps are there and they are quite toxic and they have ways of destroying relationship. And after that, I will tell you if some love spells are halal. That's what I'm trying to say. But for now, I've mentioned to you earlier on, let me just briefly summarize it, that for people who are into the toxic trap, there's no peace in their life, only anxiety. Your heart feels unsettled, the bond feels fragile, trust feels false and not natural, then you see that there's no growth, only the dependency. There's the shrinking personal world, there's reduced independence, decisions are centered around fear of loss, and then you have emotional paralysis. There's no mercy, only control. Mistakes are punished, not forgiven. If you see yourself tolerating this kind of relationship, this is the point I'm trying to make. It means you are inside a trap, a toxic trap, and you cannot remain there forever. You should not remain there forever. Vulnerability is used, not protected. Fear becomes the glue that is holding things together, not mercy. And wherever mercy is absent, love cannot breathe in that place. There's that illusion of stability. You think you stay together. You think you are intensely bonded. You think you are inseparable. Whereas stability without serenity is just stagnation with anxiety. True stability feels calm. False stability feels tight. There's the inevitable end that ends with chaos or collapse. The controlled heart resists and breaks free. It's a matter of time. Or the controlling heart becomes more desperate and rigid. Both paths leads to destruction. They lead to emotional explosion. They lead to spiritual dryness and psychological harm. Let us all be warned. Love spells do not create unions, they create cages. And cages eventually provoke escape, they provoke rage, or they provoke collapse. We should find ways of healing ourselves, whether you are the one that is inside the love spell, or somebody that's inside the toxic trap. We must heal ourselves. We must turn back to Almighty Allah to repent and to ask for ourselves to be healed. We must reclaim emotional and spiritual autonomy. We must know that our hearts belong to Almighty Allah. We must understand that Ruqya works, Ruqya, dua, and grounding practices. Look for Ruqya. Repeat your istikhara. If you see that you are being trapped in this emotional cage, turn to Almighty Allah. There are so many ways through which these things can be broken, too many ways through which these spells can be broken. Speak to trusted scholars, speak to counselors, come around safe companions, because one of the things that spell will do is to cut you off from people. Toxic trap will also cut you off from people who can help you. And then seek structured therapy in line with what is acceptable in the Sharia. You should rebuild the relationship with love itself. Love is not urgency. Love is not obsession. Love is not pain that must be endured. Love is where the heart can breathe. If it tightens the chest, it is asking for attention, not surrender. So beware and see what you can do to cure yourself from this if you feel you are inside the love track. You are inside the toxic trap. Now, what I mentioned to you earlier on is the healthy love spell. Let me put it that way. Yes, when I say spell, I put it in quote and unquote. There's a kind of love spell that can be acceptable, but it still depends on BIA, belief, intention, and action. Traditionally, people talk about 5 love languages. There's this best-selling book by the author and marriage counselor Gary Chapman. He talks about 5 ways that love is expressed and received. Listen to this, you will find it interesting. Number 1, acts of service. You remember that one? These are based on doing helpful things for your partner. Number 2, physical touch. That's a close physical connection to your partner, such as holding hands, hugging, cuddling, and caressing, as well as sexual intimacy. Number 3, quality time. That's all about making the time to show up and be present with your partner. And number 4, giving gifts. You remember that? Gift giving. That's a way of showing your partner that they are on your mind every time. That's a very nice one. It's another love spell. Let me use it now. I'm not calling language anymore now. Let me call it love spell. If you can do this thing to somebody, it's like casting spell on them. Some people, the spell that works on them is just be giving them gifts. Now you are following me now. Then the words of affirmation is like casting spell on some people. This demonstrates support of your partner and letting them know that you care. It is from me that you can manifest the we of a meaningful relationship. So let me recap these 5 love spells again. If you can do them, it's like you are casting spell on somebody that they should love you. But the thing is this halal or haram? When it becomes manipulation, it becomes haram. If your intention is to manipulate the person, then it is against Tawḥīd. Do you want me to say it again? If these 5 love languages that are mentioned, acts of service, if you are doing it in order to manipulate somebody, you are trying to render act of service to your in-laws to be. You know, you gave job to everybody in their family. You go there to go and renovate their house, and your in-laws to be are now convinced that you are a nice person because you are manipulating them to help you convince their daughter to marry you. Then that act of service is haram. That's what I'm trying to say. Forgive me for saying haram. It's a very heavy word to say. I'm just exaggerating it for you to know that it is not sincere. And you are trying to cast a spell to manipulate your in-laws. You send all of them on Hajj, you send them on Umrah, so that they can convince their daughter that you are a nice person, whereas you are a bad person. Spell as B-A-A-A-A-D. Bad person. Then physical touch, especially for people who are married. You can hold hands, you can hug, you can cuddle, you can caress, you know, that kind of thing. But you are cheating on your wife. You are a manipulator. You are doing all of those hugging and kissing just to collect money from your husband. Just to rob him blue-black and make him do things for you that he's not capable of doing. Aha, there's a problem there. Allahu Akbar. Look at the BIA, believe, intention, and action. Allah is looking at all of these things. Then that of quality time. You see that you're not going anywhere. You are trying to manipulate. Or you give gift in order to buy love from somebody. Or use words of affirmation. You know I love you. I would rather die with you than live without you. You are the only caterpillar that I have that can turn to butterfly. You are the only... What other thing do they say? What do they say? You are the only fish in my net. You know those crazy things that people say in order to manipulate other people. Sometimes words of affirmation are meant for manipulation. If your intention is to ruin somebody's life, to make them love you when you are not lovable, when you are not going to reciprocate this love, then it is wrong. It is wrong. Fear Almighty Allah. This is Islamic perspective. But let me tell you another thing. There's much more than this. These 5 traditional ones, these are the ones many people talk about. But this is not universal. These 5 languages that are mentioned by Gary Chapman, they are more or less Western in orientation. And counselors make mistakes with this too. You can be wrong if you apply this thing in another culture. Now, get this point straight now. Research suggests that there are more, especially when considering cultural differences. For example, in Japan, love is often shown through actions and gifts. If you like, say things from now till tomorrow. I love you. In fact, in some languages, they don't have a sentence for I love you. Even in your own language, as an African, your language as a traditional person, where are you from? Where are you from? Tell me, where are you from? That place you are from, the word I love you doesn't have a straightforward equivalence. You have to be manipulating and changing and changing. This is because words of affirmation are not universal. In some cultures, what makes them to show that they love each other is your actions and your gift. Like preparing elaborate bento boxes if you are in Japan. In Hawaii, people practice honi. It's a kind of greeting where they press their noses together, exchanging breath and spiritual essence. In India, love is expressed through gestures, like exchanging flower garlands during weddings. In Africa here, Giving flower to your wife is not a love language. I hope you understand. It's because both of you have gone to Western school. That's why you think it's a love language. It may not really resonate with your wife that you are buying flowers for her. The same type of flowers you are buying for her is the same type you are buying for your girlfriends. And she now finds out and discovers. Tell me, how does that become a love language? Manipulator. Nonsense man. Astaghfirullah. Subhanallah. Okay, let me tell you more. Some researchers have also identified additional love languages, such as culinary love language, showing love through cooking and sharing meals. The way you can prove to your husband that you love him in some cultures is when you know how to cook very well. Ladies, are you listening to this now? Some of you will take fatwa from Saudi Arabia that a man is supposed to be cooking for the wife. If cooking actually becomes a love language, then both of you can look into it very well. Incidentally, many of us men in Africa, we don't believe that you cook for your wife. We don't believe it. So don't think because a man wears the cap of a chef and cooks for his wife to show love, that doesn't mean your husband, Rafiu, I'm calling his name now. I don't know his traditional name. Your husband, Rafiu, you don't want him to start making amala for you to show that he loves you. He won't do it. Even if you are going to kill him, he will never enter the kitchen and cook for his wife. That doesn't mean that he doesn't love you. It's because his own love language is different. In some cultures, it's culinary love language. In some cultures, it's tech-savvy love language. Have you heard of that before? That's expressing love through digital means, like personalized playlists, knowing how to configure the new iPhone for your wife asking you how to program some things and you know how to do it. That is love language for some ladies. Not that you are so, what word can I use if I don't want to say ignorant? Anyway, let's say ignorant. Not that you are so ignorant, you don't know how to operate anything, you don't know how to be on Facebook, you don't know what is happening on YouTube, you don't know what is happening on Instagram, and your wife is just looking at you like a bushman. Let me use that word. No, for some women, they want you to know how those things work, how those things operate. For some men also, they like it that their wives know how to do these things. Not that the wife will say, somebody send something, oh, I don't know how to respond. You'll be like, but that's just email now. You should easily respond to the email. Or she doesn't know how Instagram works, for instance. Or you have to start teaching her how to operate the new iPhone you have bought for her. She will look like one bush woman to you. In other words, tech-savvy love language is an addition. Don't forget. Let me tell you another one that will shock you. Do you know that travel exploration is another love language? Some women love to travel. Some men, the only way you can show him that you love him is when you travel with him. When he says, let's go, and then you quickly pack your bag. When he says, I just thought of, let's travel to Nigeria, for example. Or let's go to Abuja, for example. Or let's travel to Dubai, for instance. Those are the love languages for some people. Look, if you like, say words of affirmation from now till tomorrow. If you don't know the airport, you don't know how to get the visa for some countries, you don't love them. That is bonding over shared adventures and exploring new places. Couples, wake up. The reason why you are quarreling is that your passports have expired over and over and there's no single visa on it. Love language for some couples may be traveling together. Another love language for some couples, we have gone more than the traditional 5 love languages now. Another love language for some people is humor, sense of humor, quirky humor, using humor and laughter to show affection. You, madam, that doesn't know how to crack joke, you don't know how to tickle your husband to make him laugh, you don't know what joke to crack, you are just there. And when your husband sees that you are not funny, he will be watching videos and he'll be attending these comedy shows that they do all around, because he knows that you don't have sense of humor. If he suggests it to you, you say, "Awuzu be like, how can I go and be listening to those people cracking useless jokes?" It is useless to you. But this man just wants to laugh. He wants to laugh so that he can forget his sorrow. But there you are. You keep sending videos of bad things that happen to him, instead of sending videos of humor and skits that will make him to laugh. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm just exaggerating these things. Your husband or your wife, that may be their love language. You should be the comedian for your wife, Mr. Husband. Don't be looking like a serious Muslim every time. You can't crack jokes, you can't laugh, you can't be funny. What is wrong with you? If you like, give your wife all the money in the world. If you don't know how to make her laugh, you are not speaking her love language. And Omo, let me tell you, some ladies can laugh. Some ladies know how to laugh very well. They know what is funny, they know what is fun. They know what is joke, they know what is laughter. They have different, different temperatures of laughter. They have different kinds of laughter. They laugh almost at anything. Unfortunately, they marry men who don't know how to crack jokes. Subhanallah. And the opposite is the case also. This man will be cracking jokes. He will be laughing and joking. But when he gets home, he has married a wife that doesn't understand joke. If he should crack any joke now, she'll take offense and she'll start quarreling. In fact, she'll start keeping malice with him. The man will be like, "But I was just joking now. I was just playing with you." No, she doesn't know any joke. She doesn't know any play. All her life is serious, 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 serious. How would you speak a love language that way? In other words, I'm emphasizing these love languages for you to know that some of them are halal spells in your marriage. Look, crack jokes. It is a spell. Your husband or your wife will love you some more because you make them happy. Your husband will just be at work. He will just start laughing. And people will be like, "Look, Ustaz, what is making you to laugh like that?" You will say, "I just remembered, yes, I remembered a joke my wife cracked yesterday night. That's why I'm still laughing up till now." You must be a very lucky man, if your wife knows how to crack joke. She has casted halal spell on you, so that you keep loving her some more. In fact, you will rush back home and you say, "My wife, tell me that joke of yesterday again." Allahu Akbar. You are such a lucky man, Let me tell you another love language that is a halal spell. You want me to tell you? It is silence. Silence as love language. Finding comfort in quiet moments together. Husband and wife, sometimes you don't need to talk. You don't need to joke. You don't need to laugh. You don't need to complain. You don't need to quarrel. You don't need to say anything. Just sit down and be quiet. You see, both of you are present in the house. You are not talking. It's not because you don't love each other. It's actually a love language. In many cultures in Africa, that's a love language. Allowing your husband to have rest. Allowing him to rest his head, not to kill him with too much gist, is a love language. Allowing your husband to relax, not to kill him with too much talk, is a love language. I'm using that word deliberately. I'm exaggerating, kill. Because sometimes some women can actually kill their husband with gist. Subhanallah. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Imagine the husband coming home and reciting Ayatul Kursi for Allah to protect him from too much gist from his wife. Some men just want to come home and they want to have silence. They need to recalibrate. They need to get their lives back. For some women, it's not that they are keeping malice. They just want silence. For you, Mr. Husband, don't go home and start gisting her up, asking her to explain this one. Why did you do that one? Why did you do that one? Why is this one like this? Explain how that happened. Why did the food get burnt? Why did you forget this food in the freezer? How come this is and so? Some of these women want a lone moment. They just want to have their peace. Brothers, fisabilillah. Some of these women, their love language is just peace. Allow her to rest, fisabilillah. Allow her to be. Don't make her to have to explain everything. Don't make her to have to prove anything. Don't make her to have to defend everything. Don't make her to have reasons for everything. Women don't have to have reasons for everything. She just wants her time. She wants you to leave her alone for some moment. Let her rest. You hear? Brother, please, let her rest. That's a love language. In fact, she will never quarrel with you for the next 15 years if you understand that she just wants to rest. And let me tell you another love language that is like a spell in a marriage. It's ibadah itself. For a Muslim woman or man, their love language could be ibadah. Or what use is your spouse that doesn't pray, or that doesn't fast in Ramadan, or that doesn't do tahajjud? For some women, their love language is a man that does tahajjud. Take that from me. Go and write it down. Some women want their husbands to follow them to lectures. They want their husbands to listen to sermons or to attend Islamic programs together. That's all she wants. She goes to a salatu, she goes to Islamic programs, she goes to halakha. She just wants the husband to come with her. That is the love language. That's all she's looking for. Your money, or your taking care of the family, or your love languages, they don't mean anything to her. What she wants is a situation where you go for prayers together. That's all she wants. And for some men, just wear your hijab and dress modestly and speak modestly. That's what he's looking for. His love language is the hijab you wear. Look, a man once told me, He once told me. Do you know what this man said? He pointed finger to one lady in a distance, and he said, Ustaz, if my wife could ever dress like that lady, I'm going to buy a brand new Sienna. That's the one that was raining that time. I'm going to buy a brand new Sienna for my wife. I said, wife? He said, she doesn't wear hijab. And I have all the money to buy all the hijabs they sell in Dubai for her. He was just exaggerating, I know. But he said that lady, he was pointing at a Muslim lady and say, if my wife could just dress like that lady to come out of the house and go back inside the house, I'm going to buy that car for her. You know, that is his love language. And this woman, he had to be begging her to wear hijab before going out. What is wrong with you ladies now? Don't you understand? Your husband is not looking at your beauty. He's not looking at the fact that you have 3 PhDs. He's not looking at the fact that you know how to cook like a dream. He's not looking at all of those things that is in your head. You think that's what is important to him. He's looking at your ibadah. He wants a wife that they will do tahajjud together. He wants a wife that they will fast together. That is the love language. Madam, if you want your husband to love you like hell, I'm exaggerating. Okay, let me say, if you want him to love you like paradise, understand his love language. It's not those ones you are reading in books. Love languages have shifted, and love languages are not static. Love languages are not just one or two. It's a combination of a lot of things. And that is the halal spell that you can cast on your husband or on your wife. These examples I've given highlight that love languages can carry various meanings and can vary across different cultures and individuals. What matters most is understanding and communicating your partner's unique love language. I've mentioned all of these things, and I want you to all understand that summarily, the Quran mentions sakīnah, tranquility, Mawaddah, love, and raḥmah, which is mercy. They are architecture of a relationship that heals rather than harms. If we can put all of this together, we see that everything is going to work well for us in the long run. Let us not forget that not every love that pulls you is meant to keep you. Do you want me to say that again? It is not every love that pulls you that's actually meant to keep you. Not every door that opens is meant to be entered. And not every desire that burns is meant to be followed. Some loves are lessons, some loves are attachments, and some of them are warnings. Some delays are protections, wearing the clothes of disappointment. Love that needs spells was never yours. If love must be forced, it is not fate, it is fear. If love must be manipulated, it is not destiny, it is desperation. If love must be sustained by control, it is not connection, it is captivity. What is written for you will not require you to betray your faith to reach it. What comes from Allah arrives with peace. If something pulls you away from trust in Allah, it is not leading you towards what is written for you. It is leading you away from Almighty Allah. Letting go is an act of Iman. Letting go is not weakness. It is worship. It is saying that, oh Allah, I trust your wisdom more than my urgency. Sometimes the bravest love is the one that you release. If you love a bird, you set it free. Don't keep it in captivity. My name is Abdul Fattah Adeyemi. What is your name? Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Welcome to a place where we celebrate your greatness and nurture your path to even greater accomplishments. Acquire Abdul Fattah Adeyemi's soul-lifting handmade masterpieces and experience the divine beauty of Islamic artistry. Join the community. Transform your life. Edit your universe.